There's a story in the Bible about two sisters, Mary and Martha. They were preparing to have Jesus over for a dinner. And when he arrived, Mary was so excited that she ran out to meet him, and she couldn't wait to sit at his feet and cultivate a relationship with Jesus. Martha was excited to see Jesus as well, but she was more focused on her chores and what she had to do to make sure that the dinner was a success. When I first heard about this story, I immediately thought about my mother because my mother is very focused on her task, her chores, and making sure that people are well fed and cared for to the point where perhaps she misses opportunities to cultivate relationships. And I say that because of our relationship. I feel that there were so many opportunities where we could have cultivate that relationship, but we didn't. For example, when I was 6 and my dad died, she just told me that he was dead. I was 6 and had no idea what that meant and the consequences of it in my life. Again, when I was 10, she took me to a doctor and he told her that my hymen had been broken. And, I had no idea what that meant. I just knew that it made her very angry. And she didn't take the time to explain to me why she was angry and what it meant, or even how it happened, or any of that. And I think that these missed opportunities to create relationships, what they did for me was cause a divide. It caused me to be shut down and shut off from my mother. So there were things that happened to me that I wouldn't talk to her about because I didn't feel safe in doing so. I can remember I found myself pregnant at the age of 15, and my mother took me to a doctor again, and she left me in the room with him to be examined, and he actually sexually molested me. Well, because we didn't have that type of safe relationship, I didn't feel comfortable sharing that information with her. And so I held all that inside. Um, and because of that and all of the other things that I had been missing in my life, um, I ended up just searching in all the wrong places for this um, level of love and security that I didn't have. And so after 3 failed marriages, I found myself in North Carolina and with a man who probably would have been husband number 4, except that we kept arguing. We would argue quite a bit. And I remember saying to him, all I want is, security and love. And as these words left my mouth, a realization came over me that he wouldn't be able to give me that because those weren't his things to give. You know, safety and security and love. I've come to understand that all of that comes from you have to have that inside of you. People can add to it or complement it, but they can't give you that because that's not theirs to give. To me, those things, those fundamental, the self-love and feeling safe and secure in who you are and in your own skin, that only comes from having a relationship with Jesus. And so I'm so thankful that I was given that revelation because then I could start searching for it from a different perspective and not from any person, And so I left North Carolina and I came back to Arkansas, and I got on this path of self-discovery. And through that journey, I set out to forgive my mother. But what I came to understand is that I had to forgive myself because there was a point in my life where I could have taken off the victim, the clothes of the victim. Instead, I chose to continue to wear them, and I chose to view my mother from the eyes of a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old girl. instead of seeing her as a mother, mother to mother. And so for me, that was a missed opportunity because I didn't take it. I didn't even know that I could take it. I didn't know that I could make different choices. I just continued to live my life um, through the perspective of a 6-year-old girl. And so what I found in being a mother and being a grandmother, the lesson that I want to impart to my children is that it's never too late to start. It's never too late to leave the past in the past. And it's never too late to be the, if you want something from someone and they aren't giving it to you, perhaps you ought to try and give it to them. You know, I wanted security and peace and love from my mother. And I've learned that I have the burden to give it. And so I've been proactive in trying to be the type of mother that I've always wanted, and not just in the mothering realm, but also just in life in general. Gandhi, I think it was Gandhi who said, "Be the change you want to see in the world," and I think that's very true, and more so in the world of motherhood. Thank you.